Hey everybody, Jochen Hayden here, and I've got a game-changing revelation I want to share with you. For those of you who are OG veterans of this game, this is probably something you already know, but if you're new like me, I think you might find this interesting. Um, I just found out how to change the cycles and the days of your turns in the middle of a play-by-email game whenever you want. Full disclosure, I did not discover this on my own. Someone on the forums helped me out, and they helped me out in a big way. So let me go ahead and give you the due credit to the people who figured this out before me. I'll show you right now. So if you take a look over here on the Matrix forums, I posted a thread about the full campaign that me and Lodrick are about to start in the after actions report section, and a really smart guy named Nomad read what I was saying about the fact that the 2-day turns at the start of the campaign were very difficult for us, and it wasn't going to work very good, and we were going to switch to 1-day turns. And he pointed me in the direction of this forum post that said that you can actually change how many days your turns are mid-game, and that's gonna, if this is true, it's gonna solve all of our problems, right? So we can start our campaign with 1-day turns and then rotate into 2-day turns once we get everything sorted out at the beginning. So I'll put this forum post and the source thread in the video description so you guys can see who came up with this first, because it wasn't me. It was a lot of smarter people who've been playing a lot longer than me. So I just want to make sure I give credit where credit's due. I just want to show you how to do it now. Okay, so let me take you back to the game. Oh, jeez, how do I get swap the screen over? Okay. So, let's say you want to start a play-by-email game, and you want to do something like me and Lodrick, where we want to play the first few turns in 1-day turns because too much happens all at once on the grand campaign. So let me show you how you're going to do that. We're going to use the Coral Sea scenario to start, just because in this particular thing, it's faster to get through the turns, and I don't want to sit here for 20 minutes while this thing runs a turn. But any scenario will work. So we'll start with Coral Sea. All right, let's run it. So the Japanese player is in the driver's seat when it comes to setting up the turns. So as you can see right now, we're on 1-day turns. That's great. So pretend this is the grand campaign or the full campaign, and we're starting at December 7th, 1-day turns, okay? So the Japanese player does his moves. He's going to end the order, right? Save the game. Then he's going to email that over to the allied player. Allied player is going to grab it, right? If you're the first time setting up, you put in your password. Allied player is now going to make his moves, whatever those are, right? Then he's going to end his turn, right? He'll save it. Okay, good. Now, Japanese player gets the turn back. They're going to run it, and it's going to give you your combat resolution, right? So I'm just going to hit escape and fast forward through this. Pretend this is a full campaign, and we're sitting here for 30 minutes watching 1,000 things happen. So we're just going to fast forward through all this. All right, that's done. So I don't know if you noticed up in the right-hand corner, though, it said turn cycle 1. That's telling you that each turn is 1 day. So now the Japanese player's back, and it's his time to make moves for his turn. But let's say you and your opponent both decide, hey, let's speed this up a little bit. Let's do 2-day turns now. Because, like for me and Lodrick, let's say we get into January, February of 1942. A lot of that initial combat's done, and we want to kind of pick up the pace. Prior to that, I didn't know how to do that, but now I'm going to show you how to fix it. So step 1 is you're going to, we'll save this because we're not done with the turn. All right, let me show you what you're going to do. You'll close the game, and then I'll show you my desktop. Okay, now you're going to go to wherever your launch icon is for the game. you're going to right click and go to properties. Now I use a thing called CB. It's a tool so I can set a lot of custom settings for launch things. It adds all these extra switches and things. If you want a video on how that thing works, let me know. I'll teach you what all this stuff is. But you go to the end of your target path here and you add this. So let's say it looks like that. You put a space, a dash, and a CD. Okay, that's the switch you need to add to this target path. You hit apply and OK. Then you launch your game again. All right, I'll switch back to the actual game. All right, so now let's go back to our play by email. And remember, the Japanese player, because the Japanese player always goes first, is the one in the driver's seat and the one that's going to control the turn cycles. And you need to make sure that both players agree to this beforehand, because the Japanese player theoretically could change a turn cycle without telling the American player or the Allied player, and he won't know until he's like halfway through it. So this needs to be pre-agreed upon by both players before this gets done. Anyway, we're going to open up our game. And that's normal because we're not done with the turn yet. So now, Japanese player makes his moves. Both players agreed to what they want to do. So then you go up to your preferences, right? And you change it from 1 day to 2 day, or whatever you want it to be, right? In our case, me and Lodrick are probably going to rotate into 2 day turns once we both agree to do it. So we're going to do that and close it. You're going to run your turn. You're going to push your buttons, move your ships, whatever you want to do. Then you'll hit the orders phase end. Save your game. All right. Now the Allied player gets it. They're going to load it up. They're going to make their moves. Whatever you want to do, move your ships, whatever you want to do. Now, Allied player ends the turn. Saves it. Okay, that's done. Now the Allied player emails the thing back to the Japanese player. Now watch what happens. So now we're the Japanese player ready to see the combat resolution. Check this out. Check up at the top. Turn cycle 1 of 2. I don't know if you caught it on the last turn. It said turn cycle 1. Now it says turn cycle 1 of 2. So now instead of this being a 1 day turn, it's going to be a 2 day turn. And that's all you got to do. So again, this is Coral C, but this works on any of the scenarios that you're playing a play by email game. So that's how you do it. I am so excited about this. This is going to solve all of our problems. This is going to allow me and Lodrick to start our campaign with 1 day turns. And then once we're ready to move on to 2 day turns, we can do that mid-game without having to start over, reset up everything, redo everything. This is awesome. So again, I did not come up with this. Someone else did it. I will make sure I give all credit where it's due and put the link to the forum post where you can find out how to do this yourself. But I hope this helped you. So I'm going to quickly run through this so you can see that the turn cycle will move over to 2 of 2. So I'm just going to hit escape a bunch of times here. Look at that. Turn cycle 2 of 2. Now we're on a 2 day turn. That's it. Now, whenever you're ready, let's say you and your opponent are coming up to a very pivotal part in your campaign. You want to slow things back down. You've been doing 2 day turns for a few in-game months, but you know something big's going down, or you both agree you want to go back to 1 day turns. The Japanese player in the driver's seat can easily go back and switch it back to 1 day turns. Then you save it, run it again. When the combat resolution occurs on the next cycle through, it's going to be back to 1 day turns. I don't know what else I can say about this. I'll just keep talking on and on. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll do my best to get you an answer if I don't know it myself. And let me know if you want to see some more of these tutorials, because I want to share what I know about this game. I want this game to live on. It's really old, but it's really awesome, and there's nothing else like it. So I want to teach new players like me how to do some basic stuff in a very clear-cut way. So if you want to see more of these tutorial videos, please let me know and I'll be happy to make them. And that's all I got. Thank you guys very much.